All right, so good morning. I am just waking up. Well, woke up maybe an hour ago. since they just. Good morning. I'm waking up, and I woke up this morning to a low blood sugar. I think I was getting ready to wake up anyway. Usually go up. My alarm usually goes off around 6:30, and just before then, I woke up and checked my blood sugar, and it was low. If you remember, I am in my second fast of 72 hours. So last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I fasted, and then this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and today is Friday. So I am just shy of maybe 60 hours. I started at 6:47 on Tuesday evening. So Wednesday, 6:47 p.m. That was 24 hours. Last night, 6:47. That's 48 hours. And then this morning, around 6 o'clock, is when when I woke up. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that blood sugar was. So little less than 60 hours, maybe 58, 59 hours. And so this is what I woke up to. This is the Dexcom. Oops, let me go back here. So that's the Dexcom, what it was showing at the time. And then I went ahead and looked at my Libre, and my Libre was showing 70. Okay, so Dexcom woke me up. Libre was 70. And so I got up, and as you saw there just a minute ago, I weighed myself, and my first goal was to get a weight below 200. And so this morning, after, let's see, 4 months, September, October, November, December, January. So after 4 months, with that intention. So my goal has been to below 200 continuously, right? So since I started years ago, that was my goal, to get down and maintain below 200. In March, and let me maybe go back there and show what that looked like. Let's see. Okay, here we are. So if you remember in March, and you may not, so let me go ahead and show that. Okay, here we are. Okay. So right here, that was March of last year, March of 2023. My weight was 240 pounds. Okay, so 240 pounds, and so the goal has been to get below 200. And over the course of the year, from March to September, I went from 240 to 220. So about 20 pounds drop from March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So 6 months, I went down 20 pounds. And then from September to now, another 20 pounds, right? So right below 200 now, at 199. So over the course of March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So over the course of 10 months, I've gone from 240 down to where it was this morning, which was 199, right? So right below 200. And so that gives me the goal, my initial goal that I had, right? So I've achieved that. And so now the plan is, okay, how do I maintain below 200? As you see, over the course of time, right, so that weight has kind of fluctuated: 204, 203, 202, 205, 205, 210, right, 211, 208, right? So as I've said before, the weight loss journey is not necessarily a linear one. Let me say it again. It's not a linear one. It is fluctuating, but the general trend, right, is one down. And if I go to years, right, you see over there, that was where I was in March. And if I were paying attention to just these guys, right, or even if I was paying attention on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, it would not look like there was any significant change. But when I go back and I look now over the course of the year, I see that that's definitely the case. Let me do something here really quickly, guys. I want to take something off the screen. Let me get rid of those guys for a minute. Okay. Okay. So over the course of time, you'll see there that the trend is in going down, right? It's a decreasing direction. But sometimes the frustration is if we're looking at these numbers on a daily basis, it is difficult to see that you are making progress. So that's that was one of the excitements, one of the high points for this morning was that I was able to now achieve that goal of getting below 200. So yay. Let's see. Get some hand claps there. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So now the next thing that I want to kind of address is what's been happening in terms of my blood sugars. And let me pop back over here. So these are blood sugars. As I said, I woke up this morning to a 59 blood sugar, and so I've been checking my blood sugar periodically since then. This is what the Dexcom is showing. This is what the Libre is showing. And so I went back and just kind of looked over the last, and this one is data for 68 days, 68 out of 90 days. So this is from October the 15th to January the 12th, right? So essentially 3 months. So October, November, December, January. So essentially 3 months. And you'll see there that my average blood sugar over the course of that time has been 128. And you'll see some fluctuations there if you look at the specific times of the day. Like early, right after midnight, it's usually 130s. The highest that it is during the day is right before midnight. On the far right, you'll see it's about 135. Right, but during the day, between 121 and 130. I usually tell people that I want their average blood sugar to be about 125 is the goal. And if you can keep a blood sugar of 125 throughout the day, then your A1C, if you're managing that or measuring that, will be about 6.5. Okay, so that's the average glucose. This is my time in range, and the range on the system is between 70 to 180. You'll see that they're down at the bottom. But over the course of the last 90 days, last 68 days, right, because this data is being collected for 68 days, we'll come back and show you a full 90-day when we're able to capture that. But over the course of that time, 91% I've been in range, and I've been low between 54 and 69 3% of the time, and I've been high 181 to 250 6% of the time. But 91% is actually pretty good. Usually tell people about 79% is what I want. If you look at the guidelines, they'll tell you 75%. We try to shoot for a little higher than that. And so if we can maintain the blood sugars where we say that we want the average to be, that will give us an A1C, as I mentioned, about 6.5. Here it says that my glucose management indicator. So glucose management indicator is a calculated estimation, if you will, of what the A1C should be. Right? We can't say it's the A1C because the A1C is actually measured in the blood work that you get. But the glucose management indicator is an estimation based on what the blood sugars have been, on what we think your A1C would be. And here it is, 6.4 is what it's saying. And as I mentioned, my average blood sugar, if you remember over here, average blood sugar is 128, so pretty close to 125. And so that gives me a 6.4. Once again, this is another time and range there. So very excited about some of the things that are going on. As we are talking about New Year, New You, right? That's our theme for this year, this entire year. The things that we are doing, the tools that we're using we want to make sure, or we want to make, or we want to see that we are making progress. And in this case, as you saw, made some definite progress here. I want to go back to this graph here for a minute, because I want you to notice down at the bottom, and I need to do a different graph. Maybe let me, hold on a second. What I want to do is I want to show you, let's see, how do I do that? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to generate, and I'm going to come back to, right. So here I'm in the Dexcom Clarity app. And what I want to do is generate, and say we've been 2 days, let's do 7 days. I'm going to generate the reports that come out of the Clarity app. So let me go ahead and do that now. That's one of the things I like about the Dexcom, is that on the phone itself you have the reporting software. For the Libre, it has, you can get the same data, but the software is not on the phone itself. Okay, so here is my Clarity app, and this is a report that it generates. This is the overview page. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go here. So let's start. Yeah, let's start with these graphs. I think this is probably the best way to do it. All right, so this is Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday the 9th. This is where I started, and so I'm going to do this one, right? And so you'll see that my blood sugar is there. So 70 is the red line at the bottom, and 180 is the that kind of yellowish amber line. And so those lines are the range, right? So when you look at your glucose meter, if you look at your continuous glucose meter, then the range typically is 70 to 180, and that's the guidelines say that that's where they want your blood sugars to be. Now, as you can tell, or as you may imagine, if we keep our average blood sugar of 180, then our A1C is not going to be 6.5. So we'll talk about those guidelines later. But that's the range. And so as we go through that day, as we go through this day, you'll see that the blood sugars fluctuate. And so Tuesday, that's Tuesday morning, 12 a.m. And so I'm gonna start my fast starting at 6:45 in the afternoon, right? So here it is with 3 o'clock, so 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock is right about here, right? So that's where 6 o'clock is. And so then we're going to go through the rest of the day, right? It's to 12 a.m. and you'll kind of see where my blood sugars are. So they kind of fluctuated. So I started my fast at 6 p.m. and then right around 9 p.m. I had a spike. I had to change the sensor, and that's why you see this little gap. So here we are again, and let's scroll back down, and we'll find that was Tuesday. Right, so what I started saying is that my sensor ended, and so I had to change it. So that's why you see that gap there on the screen. So that was Tuesday, and so now Wednesday, woke up in the morning and blood sugars kind of hovering right at 80, right, and across the day, and at 6 a.m., right, we kind of had an increase there, and 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and you see that blood sugar starts to drop again, and so it's on a downward trend. But notice that I don't have any low blood sugars, and at 6 p.m., which is right here, right, so that's 6 p.m., I still don't have any hypoglycemic episodes, right? In fact, my blood sugar is around that's around 80 where it's writing, because that red line is 70, so it's hanging out right about 80, 80, 90, 100, and you see there the range. Okay, so that's Wednesday, and so now that's been 24 hours, and so now let's go to Thursday, and so Thursday you see that blood sugar starts to go down a little bit more, right? And so now it's approaching, and here is one episode where we had a hypoglycemic, so it went right below 70, came back up, and then 70, 70, 70. And look at that, right? So still not eating, but that blood sugar actually came up, and it's riding that line, right? And like we said, that line, let's go scroll over here, we can get a legend. We see that's about 100, right? So it's riding that line, and then it drops below 100, and now we're coming up on 6 p.m. right now, which is right here, okay? And that's 48 hours. And right here is where I started getting some alarms, right, that my blood sugar was dropping. And so we dropped below 70. And then now let's go into Friday. Okay, here's Friday. And this is where we were overnight. And so these are the things that woke me up, okay? And so you'll see after midnight, now this is going, so we've done 48 hours now, right? So if we're past 48 hours, we're at, let's see, 6, 48, 47, 48, 49, 50, 50. So we're about 50, 55 hours. And so we're starting, so this is the first time where we're getting some consistent lows. So people say to me all the time, hey, I didn't eat anything, right? I didn't eat anything, and my blood sugars are still high. And as you see from this, it takes time before your body uses the available glucose that's floating around your body before it has to go now to stores. So, right? So now my blood sugar is dropping. And so the question is, if I'm not eating and the blood sugar is low, how does the body then recover? Where does it get the energy from? And I'm excited because we're low, and then we'll start to see here. Look at that. Right? So the body recovers. So the blood sugar now is climbing above, and I'll come back and show you a longer graph where the blood sugars are now above low, right? And so the question is, where are we getting the energy from that's making the blood sugar go up? And that means that the body is now having to tap into the stores. Let me say it again. The body is now having to tap into the stores that it has to generate energy. And that's what we want to happen. Until that happens, we're still using the available sugar that's running around in your blood, right? So when we talk about fasting, you really don't get a good, I don't want to say result, but you don't really get good fasting or a good breakdown of stored energy until you fasted long enough. Okay? And so in this case, for the first time, we see, okay, we're low. And so the body's saying, wait a minute, what's happening? We were consistently low. Now we've got to go and we've got to tap into the stores. And we'll come back and we'll show you some more on what's going to happen for the rest of this day. Okay? But two big things that are happening in my case today. Number one is that we have reached our goal of below 200 at 199. So excited about that. And then the other thing that has happened is that we have gone past now 60 hours, and we had that low, continually low blood sugar. And this is the Dexcom Clarity, this is the Dexcom app. And right down here is where we had those persistent lows, okay, where I was waking up. And so now we're going to see for the rest of the day how the body kind of maintains energy and maintains glucose by now tapping into the stores that we have. All right? Okay, so we'll come back. We'll talk more as we get through the fast, and we'll record when we're going to break the fast, and we'll talk about some things there. All right, see you guys later.